And I hope you're having an amazing day. Welcome to another episode of 10 p.m. University. So today we're going to talk about 5 qualities of a successful entrepreneur. So there is a difference between a successful entrepreneur and an entrepreneur who has failed and never been able to succeed again. Right? The reason why. Because of the qualities they possess, right? For instance, take an example of Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, Warren Buffett. They are considered to be successful entrepreneurs in our time, right? You might have seen a lot of others successful entrepreneurs who are not so famous, but you might consider them as your role model, right? So I wanted to highlight the 5 qualities which makes a successful entrepreneur tick. Right, the number one quality I want to talk about is discipline. Right, entrepreneur who've been very successful. Right, the reason why they've been successful is because of the discipline. They know that the thing's gonna get tough, but they are not willing to give up. They're gonna keep on doing the same thing again and again and again and again. Where most of the people, give up in the middle of the journey. A successful entrepreneur, a person who wants to be successful as an entrepreneur, will keep on going, keep on going, keep on going, keep on going. Then they never stop fighting. They never stop fighting, right? They have this fire in the belly. They knew that if they're not disciplined enough, right, they will fail. They will fail big time. They will be like just another entrepreneur who tried and failed, right? The biggest difference between a person who succeed and a person who failed is the willingness to try again, right? A person, both successful and entrepreneur and entrepreneur who failed, they start at the same place. They start at the same point. The difference between both of them is discipline, right? One is so disciplined that in spite of failures, the person keep on going again and again and again, right? That's what makes an entrepreneur successful. One of the important qualities to have. The second one, they're open-minded, right? Because entrepreneurs know that sometimes the ideas may not work out, so they are open to new suggestions. Like if you're an entrepreneur, right, you start with an idea, right? You think the idea works, great, but if you notice someone else who suggests to you, look, I've tried this and I've failed, right? You have 2 choices, right? You can say, oh, look, I don't care about your opinion, right? And I'm going to stick to mine. That's fine. There's no problem with that. But at the same time, right, you can take away the things which the other person have done, which leads to their failure. You can learn from that thing, right? It's always good to learn from someone else's failure rather than learning from your own failure. I mean, there's nothing wrong in learning from your own failures, right? But if you get an opportunity to learn from someone else's failure, that's a luxury, right? If you get it, use it wisely, right? So you need to have an open mind, right? People will come to you, and if you are running a company, right, you need to be open to the suggestions from your coworkers, from your staff member. You can't say, look, my way or highway, right? That's not going to work out very well. Yes, it's true that you wanted to run a business, you wanted to be very successful, you wanted to, but if you have an attitude, look, I don't give a damn about what my coworker says, my fellow, accountant says, I'm afraid that your journey won't be it will be very hard in the long run, because you might miss an important advice. You might miss an important idea, right? Someone might say, aha, we can do this way. Oh, what do you think about it? And if you're someone who's very rigid, it doesn't care about other people's opinion, perhaps entrepreneurship is not really for you. You should stick to your 9-to-5 job. That works out very well. That's the advice one of the greatest billionaire once gave to people, right? If you are not open-minded, if you're not willing to be disciplined, then please stick to your 9-to-5 job, because entrepreneurship is not for you. End of story. The next, third quality, creativity, right? Entrepreneurs are creative. The reason why they became the entrepreneur in the first place, because they believe that they can find a solution to a problem which has not been solved yet, right? the reason why people get into business, people wanted to be entrepreneur, because they wanted to solve a problem. You know, they've realized that there is a problem out there, and they can bring out a solution which will help the rest of the humanity, right? Or look at for instance, take an example of SpaceX, right? Elon Musk knew that there is a problem out there, right? Only, he wanted to privatize space, which no one else ever thought about it, right? People were like freaked out. Oh, wow, what he's doing? I mean, it should be done by the government space agency. How dare he get into the space agency? But he did, right? He was creative enough. He was creative enough to think outside the box. He knew that if you stick to the same, lousy ideas, he will never go anywhere. That's why he's extremely creative person. Same goes with Amazon founder. Same goes with Microsoft founder. And Google founder, right? Google revolutionized the search engine, right? The way we do search now, everyone talks about Google, right? If you can't find something, the first thing that comes to mind, oh yeah, you can Google it, right? It's become like a verb, right? So imagine those two geniuses, right? They revolutionized the entire concept of search engine. So they brought so much of creative. So this is what one of the most important quality of a successful entrepreneur, right? The fourth one, which is very important, right? Elon Musk once said, right, you need to have a very high pain tolerance. Everything is rosy when you start. You have a lot of ambitions, you have a lot of dreams, you have a lot of ideas. At times, you realize nothing is working out, right? Everything you touch you're breaking it, right? In other words, like you realize that no one likes your idea, no one likes your product, your family don't believe in you, your partner don't believes in you, whoever it is, right? So you need to have a very high pain tolerance, because if you decide to be an entrepreneur, you will experience a lot of pain. You will experience a lot of joy. You will experience a lot of things in your journey to be a successful entrepreneur. Do you think that Elon Musk achieved the status overnight? I wish you guys to go and watch his interview where he said he came very little close to losing Tesla, right? But in spite of that, now Tesla is making huge profit, right? If you wanted to be an entrepreneur, please make sure that you have high pain tolerance. If you're someone who believes that, I can't handle pain, please stick to 9-to-5 job. That will serve you much better than being an entrepreneur. I'm not being harsh here, but it will save you from going through all the pain, right? That's one of the important things. Right. The final thing is the strong work ethic, right? Most of the people assume that once you start a business, once you start a company, you don't have to wake up early. You can go at 10 o'clock, you can go at 12 o'clock. That's a crappy work ethic. If you are an entrepreneur, you have to set up the right example, right? Most of the entrepreneurs, they start very early. They go to bed very late in the night. They work. 9-to-5 work, like working 40 hours a week, it's like a part-time job for an entrepreneur. You might have to work 100 hours a week because you are building a business. You want it to be successful. If no one else is gonna invest the time, right? If you're not gonna invest the time, then no one else will be interested in investing time, because they will look up to you and say, look, see, you don't care. Why should I care, right? Because it's, a person who's working 9-to-5, it's not his company. Why should he care? He's getting a paycheck. He's doing whatever he can. But if you're an owner of a company, right, you need to put a strong work ethic. You need to set an example. If you're someone who's lousy, who comes late and leaves early, and a person who's looking up to you say, look, the company owner doesn't care. Why should I care, right? I mean, we're getting our paycheck. That kind of mindset, right, that's what brings the company down at the end of the day, right? So if you want to be an entrepreneur, please make sure that you have a strong work ethic, right? You should have you should stick to your deadlines. You should be a woman of integrity, right? You should mean when you say something, you should mean it, right? You shouldn't be someone, right? You say something and do something, right? You should always walk your talk, right? So that's one of the important things you have to keep into consideration. Please have a strong work ethic if you're someone who's looking to join uh, the the wagon of being an entrepreneur, right? So these are the 5 things I've shared with you. There are different other things as well, but these are the 5 key things which I believe is very important if you wanted to be an entrepreneur. But if you are someone who's not interested, that's fine. So yeah, that's all I wanted to cover today. So I'm gonna spend more time in to talk about entrepreneurship, because this is a very important topic. A lot of people wanted to get into business, but they have no clue, right? They think it's a rosy, it's like a walk in the park, right? It's like eating cheeseburger. As a matter of fact, doing a business is way harder than doing 9 to 5 job or working for someone, because when you work for someone, you have the protection, right? The person will take care of a lot of things. But when you are an entrepreneur, you are the man, you're the woman, you are responsible for it. You are responsible for everything that happens in your company, right? You need to worry about insurance, you need to worry about tax, you need to worry about, someone suing you. You can get sued, right? Because you might do something, your competitor, you have to worry about your competition, right? You need to think about things, what other people are doing, because otherwise someone will put you out of business, right? You need to worry about. So these are the 5 things. I would highly encourage you to check it out if you are someone who's looking to be an aspiring entrepreneur, right? There are a lot of great entrepreneurs out there who's done amazing stuff, right? We need a lot of amazing entrepreneurs in the world, because we need to bring the creativity, right? If you think you can do it, then please do it, right? Because otherwise it's just an injustice to your own creativity, right? Because this is, a wise man once said, right? If you think you can do it, and if you decide not to do it, that's just an injustice to the society, because a society has lost a great, a creative product or creative output from an individual, right? Just because an individual decide not to do it, right? So this is one of the things I wanted to share. I didn't mean to be harsh in any ways, but this is something I've learned from listening to different people. You listen to talk of Warren Buffett, Elon Musk, Bill Gates, George Soros, and other people. They will advise you similar stuff, right? You need to have a high pain tolerance if you want to be an entrepreneur. If you think you don't, then please don't get into entrepreneurship. It will hurt you very bad. Even a grown man will cry when things go wrong. It happens, right? Because we are biological models programmed with emotions, right? Whatever models you call T16, T61, human models, whatever you wanted to name it, right? A biological model with chemical soup programmed with emotions, right? Emotions kicks in when, things goes wrong. So, right, so that's all I wanted to talk about today. I hope you guys found some value out of it. And yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to talk. So adios and greetings from New Zealand. Take care.